we're assuming that's Mr. Brandt on the phone. We're gonna fill in the dead air here real quick. Yes, we are streaming on multiple YouTube accounts. We wanted to dust off the cobwebs off of the big one to let everybody know that we're officially starting the fundraiser here in just a little bit. And as we wait for everything to get squared away, Mike's will come back and we'll start getting all the information for the pool links and everything that we need for that. So that stuff will be coming soon. And yeah, so as we sit here on Twitter, wait as you're doing the key button press and everything on the phone to actually get it in there.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hello, friends. Thank you very much for sticking with us, everyone. We've got Eric Brandt from Jefferson County Jail. Can you hear us, Eric?
Oops, sorry. I can hear you barely. I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me a little better now?
Not really.
Every damn time. Well, all right. Can you hear me out there in the interwebs? Put a 1, 2, 4, 5 if you can hear me very good. If you can hear Eric.
Can you guys see me? Is this camera in focus? I can't see you guys.
Yeah, I can see you.
You're stupid.
I can see you behind bars, Eric.
Am I blinking? I was blinking earlier.
Yeah, you're blinking. All right, so we want to start because
Code had me blinking.
Friends in Code had you blinking. Yeah, you're blinking now. You have a
blinking.
Your avatar is a blue lives splatter badge.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
All right, so let's get through these.
I'm trying to find the right spot here.
Okay, cool. Let's get through the assurity bonds because
quiet in here tonight. Everybody's watching the riots.
Oh wow, we're gonna go and stream that here shortly. So we've got some extra special guests going down there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I guess while you're getting started there, I want to do a shout out to my friend Karen Sidaro. I heard you on the news last night. I know it was you because I recognize your voice, darling.
Oh, Karen.
Our group of people must have cost Fox 31 News at least $150,000 in FCC violations.
That's awesome.
Somebody down there had an orange cardboard sign with the cursive "fuck cops" written on it, and they photobombed the Fox 31 News crew. I saw it clear as a bell. I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And I saw Brian Loma running from with tear gas in his eyes. I'm sure he couldn't see me.
He knew you were out there, though. He knew you would have approved. He's actually was down there just a little bit ago, as a matter of fact, right before your call.
Yeah, you're all muffled. I can't hear you. What?
He said he was down there just a little bit ago, also.
Oh, he was? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely saw him. I saw his ugly mug on the TV. I've seen it enough that I know that was him.
Of course it was. So Eric, hey, let's get through these let's get through these surety bonds so that people know what we're working with. We went through the cash. They know it's 68,000 cash to go ahead and get you out this time. And now we're going through the surety. Could you do that for us?
Okay, yeah. So I numbered these for you. So if the surety bonds or if the cash bonds were from the highest to lowest, 1 through 6, then the first cash or surety bonds. Sorry, the cash bonds we did from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first cash or surety bond that I want to work on is the HOA case. That is 19M 4727 out of Jefferson County. That's Judge Munch. That's the HOA lady that keeps trying to tow our vehicles out of Janet's house and trespassed Abity from his own place. because she thinks she's a queen. More like a dung beetle. That's $5,000. Number 8 is also Jefferson County. So that's Judge Munch as well. And that's the Fenton Street case. That is another bad cop. And I'll talk about bad cops again later. I think we need to start doing that because we need to start the Great Gator Rebellion. And I'm excited to be a major part of that. But on Fenton Street, Officer Chase Williams is the guy that was fucking with Defense. A lot of guys in here with Chase Williams on their paperwork. He's a bad cop. He's every bit as bad as this murderer pig in Minnesota. We got to get rid of him.
Not surprising.
$5,000 cash for surety.
Right, and then you have another. You have another one with Judge Munch. Is that correct?
Well, the $35,000 cash only is Judge Munch. That's the bad girl case.
Oh no, I was talking about another surety one. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's way down on the list, though. We'll get there.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll get there. And I think we do need to work on Judge Munch. Judge Munch is absolutely against me, right? He's absolutely out to get me. You guys have heard him in other courtrooms talking about me. He's made a very good record that he's basically not going to do anything to reduce these bonds. And so I do think that there needs to be communication to Judge Munch. You have to communicate with Judge Munch by going through my lawyers because he's a senior judge, which means he doesn't have an office. You could probably send it to the court, though, directly. But anyway, so the number 9 case, the next 3 cases are Elbert County. Number 9, 18M140. It's a $2,500 cash for surety. That's the Principal Danforth case with Judge Boyette. So you could communicate with Judge Boyette and tell him what the hell are you doing over there in Elbert County. That's the case where they charged me with child abuse for holding a sign away from a school while children were being taken to school that said "fuck Danforth." But what I didn't know is that he was actually not just the principal, but also the pastor of the church that they all go to. Number 10, Elbert County, 18M132. $2,500 cash for surety. This is the Walmart case where they charged me with harassment by obscenity for saying, "Oh, God forbid I should have a fucking wiener dog with me, and for just 25 cents you can stroke my wiener." Somehow they thought that was actually sexually suggestive because apparently all the money out in Elbert County has not taught them how to handle sarcasm, which is why all their children are in therapy. I just want to point that out. Then we get to number 11, also Elbert County, 18M123. $1,500. This is the Nurse Nightingale case. Nurse Jennifer Longfellow, criminal, breaking the law. I was arrested for trying to investigate a crime and for insulting her, calling her a Nurse Nightingale, which is a terrible thing, apparently, if you're in Elbert County and you forgot that you had to take the Florence Nightingale oath to get your nursing degree. You want to know where I first learned about Florence Nightingale?
Yeah.
When I was in nursing school, go figure. I'm just saying. Apparently she didn't graduate at the top of her class, which is probably why she's a nurse in Elbert County. Number 12 is Adams County, 17M2193. This is a probation revocation, $1,500. This is the one where I told Herb Batchison that there was going to be so much fucking sidewalk truck in Westminster that he was going to fucking choke on it.
Hey, we want to.
That's right, I was convicted.
Hey, will you just slow down just a little bit? We want to keep up with you in the chat so that everyone can follow along, take notes if they want to. So we're on 12. We just went through 12.
Yeah, we're on 12 right now.
Okay.
This is a $1,500 cash or surety. This is another one of those cases where I don't have a lawyer for that yet because it was a bond revocation or a probation revocation, and I was on probation for a telephone harassment for telling Herb Atchison that I was going to teach every child in his jurisdiction how to lift their middle finger and say fuck cops. And if they didn't hear it from my voice, they were going to read it on the sidewalk because there was going to be so much fucking sidewalk chalk in Westminster that he was going to fucking choke on it. And apparently, this must be a true credible threat. And one can actually choke on chalk dust. Who knew? I know. Shocker. Anyway, that case from 2017 just won't fucking die. Right? I've absolutely had enough of Herb Atchison. Good judge on that case, so Judge Roybal. But I can't do anything about that bond until I go to court, and I'm not going to be able to go to court on that until I'm out. So we're stuck with that amount for now.
Right.
Forever.
Right.
And then number 13 is $1,000 cash or surety. That is at this point essentially an appeal bond. This is the flashlight case. I think that we should be asking Judge Munch to lower that bond because at this point I've served most of the maximum sentence, and at this point we also know goddamn well from the letters that the police sent that this isn't about the flashlight. This is about me calling them douchebags and fat fuckers in the World Wide Web, and they shouldn't have to tolerate my tirade. But it's okay for them to drive their vehicles at us at high speed. Judge Munch again, $1,000 cash or surety. I think he should lower that bond.
And you don't have that.
I'd like you to ask him to do it.
And you don't have that case number handy, do you?
I don't have it directly handy. No, that's 19M something or other.
Okay, that's all right. We'll figure it out later on. It's the flashlight case in Jefferson County, folks. If you want to
Flashlight case.
know.
19M2 something or other. I mean, you guys were part of that trial. You testified at that trial. Silence Smith testified. The prosecutor seemed like really insulted that you guys thought that I was humorous. Did you notice that? They were like infuriated by that. And he's, I was thinking, Mr. Brandt, funny, and you were testifying and answering that several times, and you said, no, he's actually pretty funny.
Oh, shit. I don't know what time I've been around you. Or oh, yeah. I don't know what time that I've been around you or seen you or just talked to you where you didn't make me laugh. So, absolutely, that's the truth.
I know. You were like, he's like all being indignant, and you're like, oh, no, he's actually pretty funny. And then the last one, number 14, is a $500 cash or surety out of Arapahoe, 19M427. Now, that case is not showing on the list over here, but they did finally put that $10,000 cash bond on the list. And like I told you guys, don't pay too much attention to the list here at the jail because it's not exactly accurate. I'm giving you the jurisdiction that these bonds are out of so that you guys can contact the courts directly and verify those on your own if there's some question as to whether or not these bond amounts are legitimate. The jail runs their shit however and whenever they want it, and that list you see on the Jefferson County website, we know is not in fact accurate. So, and then I'm actually asking people and encouraging people to contact the courts and check in on those. For one thing, there's no reason why the courts should be left out of the Eric Brandt bond raising event. Well, why should they be left out of the bond fund? If they got 2,000 phone calls a day about what is Eric Brandt's bond, that would be okay. Because remember, with ants and they just step on us. There's no reason to make ourselves ants when we can be giant beetles and poke through their shoes.
Right.
But that $500 cash or surety is not showing. It's possible that they didn't revoke it when we asked them to. Since I know that it should be there, I'm telling you about it. And if it turns out that they didn't revoke it and I get to walk out the doors on that one anyway, then better off for me. Better off for me.
Right.
So that should be the list. And unless I get a surprise, I think there's a couple of little bitty ones in Denver that I expect Mark Berger to take care of. I think that list is going to close. Those are all either still posted or PR bonds already. So I don't think that I have any more surprises hanging out there.
Okay. All right. So, what did you want to talk about tonight? You had a few things you wanted to speak about?
Well, the first thing I want to speak about is that I really appreciate all you guys' help, and I want to make sure that that you communicate, particularly any remember that if you send an amount through PayPal, or that we pay 10% loss on that, and if you send it through Super Chat, we pay 30% loss on that, and we don't get those funds right away, particularly the Super Chat funds. So I know that people may want to contribute on the spur of the moment, and that mechanism is going to have to be used. And I think you guys have the PayPal mechanism set up, but I didn't touch base with you on that earlier. Wasn't ready to go yet. But let's get that single thing. What I don't want is for 20 different people to be collecting money in 20 different pools, because it makes it really hard for us to show the transparency. And as I said on Friends and Codes channel the other night, where I'm going with this is working with my lawyer to establish a trust fund and a bond mechanism for demonstrators and journalists that get arrested. So that what I want to do is I want to create a mechanism moving forward that's not just for Eric Brandt, but that is something that we can actually use on a reliable basis, that has ourselves legally covered and has trustees and a board, so that we can have transparency with the money. Because I think that this movement really needs that piece, and I think that we can provide that. That's why we waited until tonight to start this mechanism, because I wanted to get as much of this in place as possible. The trust account, that's some legal shit that I have to do when I get on the outside. But right now, we do have the single email address. So here's the email address to communicate to: freetheericbrandt@gmail.com. And
freetheericbrandt@gmail.com.
so I've been told. I haven't tried it yet on account I'm in here.
Well, you should give it a shot. I think it's working. Just go on your little tablet there, man.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. They don't give us that much access. But what I wanted to do is let's have that single point. So any large amount of contribution, but by the way, with the exception of the what is it about two? So that was a really big win today in court, by the way. That means that only $2,000 or so of our bond raising money is going to go to the bond fund. The rest of this is all loanable money that can be returned. And we talked about that in court today, if you were able to listen in on that.
We were. We streamed it.
The judge gave me the choice. You wanted $20,000 cash or surety bond, or a $3,000 cash only bond. And I said, I'd rather be able to pay it back, so let's do the cash only bond. And even the prosecutor knew when we put that on the record. I don't know if you caught that, but we made sure that the record showed that we didn't want to have to pay to the bond, and we wanted to be able to get it back. And once that happened, and the judge asked the prosecutor what their position is, what did she say? First thing out of her mouth is, Your Honor, bond is not supposed to be punitive, which means she knows damn well that if it's a bond going to a bondsman, that's lost money, and that's a financial punition on a disabled veteran with no income. So the judge gave me the choice, and I said I want to be able to pay it back. So from $50,000 to $3,000 was a good win today. And that leaves us with those what is that, 8 cash or surety bonds? It's going to cost us about $2,000. That's not too bad, especially since we might get some of those reduced if possible. And the cash only bonds, that's all returnable money.
So it's about $70,000 in a loan.
It's about $70,000, almost entirely in a loan. Yes.
I just want to be totally transparent, because I've had a lot of questions in the chats, and I just want to make sure everyone gets their questions answered. And I appreciate you talking to me and answering for me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing this, man. And so I wanted to also make sure that I talk a little bit about why it's important to communicate through that email address, especially with any larger amounts of money. And I know that there's a couple of you guys out there that have already agreed to put up some matching funds during the course of this bond-a-thon. Thank you very much for that. Those guys have been communicating through that email address, and those monies will be transferred by bank transfers that are a lot less expensive than the other more immediate fundraising mechanisms, and that's where David Hughes comes into play there. And that's where Chris Powers comes into play. So David Hughes agreed to do the transactions. He's the one that's local that'll be able to go convert that from his bank to a cashier's check and bring it to the jail. But remember, we don't want to pay 10% or 30% where we can avoid it. So to the maximum extent practical, because this isn't an emergency, I wanted to let's rethink how we do this, you guys, because everybody is trying to do these things. If somebody's in jail, we want to get them out right away. We have the best intentions, and then we have 8,000 fingers in the pudding, and then we can't audit it. We can't figure it out, and we can't. And it creates, I think, a lot of discord. And I think everybody will tell you that I'm actually, contrary to my initial image on YouTube, I'm actually kind of a team builder. I'm a consensus builder. I don't like people being in strife, and so it saddens me when we have issues with just because it's hard, right? Without any ill intention, we end up screwing this up and degrading the integrity and trustability of the mechanisms and the movement. And so I wanted to try and do my best part to repair that. And so do communicate through the email address if possible, and that'll make it a lot easier for everybody. Otherwise, we're going to have a single PayPal account, and I don't know if you have that yet tonight.
We have
that ready tonight.
I do have two PayPals. I have the pool for the under 200, and I have David Hughes' link as well in here.
Okay, and that was totally muffled to me, so I really didn't hear that.
Okay, so we have the PayPal pool for under 200 and David Hughes' PayPal as well.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and announce what that is right now, so that everybody can hear it right here and they can know that it's the legit one?
We are posting it in the chat, and it's got PayPal pools / C as in cat 8 P as in Paul.
Say that again. You're really hard for me to hear.
Okay, so I was just reading off the link numbers and letters from the pool because it's not it doesn't have an actual.
Go ahead and I'll get with you later to write it down myself, but I want to make sure that they hear it in this stream. And so let's go ahead and read both of those now into this stream so everybody can copy it down. And we can agree that these are the only two that people should be using. So you guys will help me out here and run this on your own shows. But I believe that providing these two tools, you guys will not have to worry about being questioned about your integrity or question whether the money came to the right place or not. It's all coming to the same spot, and it'll be easy for us to audit, and it'll be easy for us to return. So go ahead right now while we're here and read those clearly. I probably won't be able to hear you, but I want to make sure that they can.
Okay, so it's going to be paypal.me / Mark David Hughes. The M, the D, and the H on Hughes are all capitalized. And that's going to be for the over 200. And then the other one is going to be a little bit more difficult to read off to you, but it is in the chat, and I'm going to read it off because I want you all to hear it here. And it's going to be paypal.me / pools, POOLS / C as in cat / 8 P as in Paul, X as in X-ray, M as in Mike, capital X as in X-ray, capital R as in Ray, A as in Apple, Q as in Quavo, V as in Victor. The Q and the V are capitalized, and the U is lowercase. So those are the two pools, and we read those off. Let's see if we got any questions. What in particular is this donation going for? I haven't been following. Well, Spurs 2666. What we're doing is we're trying to get Eric Brandt out of jail. He's been in jail for close to a half a year now, and all for words.
And honestly, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm happy that I've been in here, but I've made the most out of it. And I would say at this point, it's equus mortis mortis mortis. which is one of my own quotes. It means the horse is really fucking dead, right? This horse is played out. I've gotten as much out of this as I realistically can. At this point, I mean, I could get more out of it, but it's sort of a diminishing returns. And if you paid attention to the hearing today in Adams County, you definitely learned that the court is aware, the prosecution is aware. And my lawyer talked about the high likelihood that we're going to be entering in an agreement ultimately, and how important it is for me to have out of custody time, a good amount of out of custody time, to be able to show the court that I can comply with the terms that would ultimately, hopefully, be a veterans program where the VA has proposed that they have a program available for me to put me through law school.
And so Don Davo from Down Under says, at Skyhawk, thank you. I'm about to loan the non-pool fund. So when you do that, Don, we want to make sure that you all email the Eric Brandt. And we want to make sure that you put that in the note, right? You want to put that in there so that we know who it came from and that it was a loan and that you would like it back. To be clear, so that we don't have any miscommunications for this in the future. We want to make sure that there's full transparency. We want everyone to get their money back. Absolutely.
Right, and if you don't want to have the 10% taken off the top by PayPal, then communicate to David through that email address and establish some sort of, establish a bank-to-bank transfer. We wanted to do that too, because 10% of $70,000 is $7,000. I want to put that into perspective here. If we do this entirely through PayPal, we'll be paying nearly $10,000 in transaction fees.
Very good point.
So if it's a doable thing, I'm actually asking and encouraging you to send your communication information to freetheericbrandt@gmail.com, and that they will respond to you and set up for a direct transfer. Otherwise, I mean, if it's, I realize that people are going to also pay through PayPal, and I appreciate that. I'm thankful for that. I certainly have done it myself. I've sent a lot of bond money around in my day through PayPal, and I have just noticed we've lost a lot of money doing that.
Right.
And we're not talking about chump change here. We're not talking about a small bond. We're talking about $7,000 here. The goal is to be able to pay the money back, and it'll be a lot easier for me to pay back $68,000 if I don't have to pay $7,000 of that to PayPal. Also, how are you going to get, maybe people want to know how they're going to get paid back. I want to thank David Hughes, because this is actually not a trivial task, but in the last bond raising mechanism, David Hughes actually wrote personal checks out of his account to the people that had donated. I think that there's several people I know off the top of my head that Lacey Robertson and Marita Gladson and Christopher Powers would be three people off the top of my head that you guys know donated, and there's a longer list than that, but I'm not going to expose people that might not want to be notified or might not want to be noticed publicly. That's another thing, is that this list is private, right? That's why I brought Chris Powers in to audit it, because he's outside of this circle. He has a substantial stake involved in the movement and in the funding, and he can audit it without divulging your identity. So if you want to donate in a way that A, you want to get paid back, and B, you don't want to be noticed publicly, then that's one of the reasons why we're doing it that way. But you'll be paid back with a personal check from David Hughes' account personally.
So, and we just
convert to a trust fund that will be paid out of the trust fund account, but we're not going to see the trust fund mechanism for at least a month, because when I get out, we're going to establish that with my lawyer.
Got it. And we just had a comment from Chris Powers, actually, who said he got a personal check from David. It felt good to get a check. It made it real, right? It makes him understand, right? It makes others understand where we're at, and that this is all on the up and up. I know we've got less than 1 minute, so we'd like for you to call back. Yeah, we'd like for you to call back, and this time, what I want is funny stories. and I want
Funny stories.
at least 15 minutes of it, at least.
Okay, because I have some topics that aren't funny, but are very apropos about now that I want to put in there too. I'll have to think of some funny stories.
All
I
right.
don't know if I have any. Did I ever tell you about the time I got crabs?
Oh my God. Yes, you could probably tell the rest of these folks when we get back. Yeah, we've heard it about 50 times. Let's skip to the next best one after that one, though. Okay, when we come back from the call.
Sounds good.
No, it's not. That does not sound good. That does not sound
You
good.
look like little crabs. It's incredible. Goodbye.
So, as you can tell, we have a pup in the background, and she's enjoying the new playground. So, David Hughes, I want to thank you very much for being in the chat tonight. Folks, that is the David Hughes that we're talking about right now. I want you all to know that he's done this and is taking it upon himself to do this for Eric. And same with Chris Powers and each of you that go on and do a live stream for Eric or anything in the name of Eric, whatever it is. We want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you, Spurs266. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. I was waiting for him to call right back, and there he is.
An inmate at Jefferson County Sheriff Detention.
Let's see if we can get a good, funny story.
Powers are available for your loved ones to accept this free call. Press thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Greetings, happy fuck the cops day.
Fuck the police in the neck with some sharp.
Or flip-floppers, that's all you got.
Yeah. We've always had this argument, though, and that just takes too long for me.
Oh, I know that it would be exhausting. It would take forever, but my God, it would make a great video.
You're going to run out of battery. You wouldn't get that whole video. So, I want to hear a story.
You want to hear a story? I don't know if I have any stories.
Get out of here,
You
man.
can't be on the spot like that. I'm not a spontaneous person.
Shit. If you all only knew. Spontaneous is his middle name.
Oh my God. Okay, so no, that's not true. Okay, so when I was in the Navy, when I went from E5 to E6, before they promoted me to E6, I had to go to E6 training because in the Navy from E5 to E6 is kind of a big transition. You really move up in leadership because you become a leading petty officer for your division. And so they send us to LPO training school, and while I'm at my E6 class, they give us this test, right? And it turns out that this test is the Myers-Briggs personality profiling test. So I'm going to tell you how spontaneous I am not. I won't tell you how far I've come, because we can all develop. We're not stuck where we were. So we take this test. The Myers-Briggs test classifies, categorizes your personality traits in 4 categories. One is whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. 2 is whether you are a sensitive or an intuitive person, and I'll get to what that means. 3 is whether you are a thinker or a feeler, so and I'll get to what those mean too. And then the last one is whether you are a judgmental or a perceptive person. So, and they did this as like a team building thing so that you realize that the people that are in your team, right, that are working under you, have different personality types, and you need to accommodate these different kinds of personalities. And maybe that's a lot of the reason why I am the way I am now, because I think everybody, in the group will tell you that I do kind of provide a buffer between differing personality points, right? And I don't know why. It's just sort of naturally what I do. But first of all, like, do you think that I scored extrovert or introvert?
Extrovert.
Oh my God, I scored 99 to 1 extrovert over introvert. Yes. Yeah. This is why I do everything I can to never be in solitary confinement. I don't handle isolation very well at all. Not even for a few hours, right? So definitely a complete and total extrovert, and that has not changed a bit in my whole life. My mother and father both say that my first word was not mama or papa, it was why. And once I started asking questions, I never stopped. So definitely I'm a strong extrovert. Introverts get their energy from within themselves. Extroverts get their energy from the people around them. Definitely I get my energy from you guys. So the next question is sensitive versus intuitive. Here's what this means. A sensitive person takes the world for what it is, as they perceive it, as they sense it to be, and an intuitive person is always wanting to know more about the world. So, for example, the sensitive person picks up an apple off the table and says, "Oh, what a pretty red apple, I bet it tastes good." Crunch. The intuitive person picks up the exact same apple off the exact same table and they say, "Why is this apple red? What's inside of it? What can I do with it? Slice it." So the sensitive person has their feet on the ground. The intuitive person is floating in the clouds. Now, knowing that I'm ADHD, let me tell you, I'm just going to tell you on that, I scored 66% intuitive. So yeah, I'm like never touching reality. I'm always floating around in the clouds a little bit. And it's not so bad. We all look like little ants from up here.
This is fucking good.
Then the next one seems kind of confusing to people, so I'll kind of explain. A thinker versus a feeler. Name a president in our history that was a great feeler. Feelers make decisions based on how they perceive it will impact other people. Thinkers make decisions based on the logic of the decision, without much regard for how it impacts other people. The greatest feeler of all time has got to be Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter lost sleep day after day about decisions that he had to make because he could always see and feel the suffering of the people that would be negatively impacted by his decision. And to a large degree, that made him an incompetent president. I scored 99 thinker over feeler. I really didn't give a fuck how you felt. And that was the major point that I worked on in my life. I have substantially shifted from logician to humanist. I definitely care more about the human beings in my life than I do about the logic of a decision. But yeah, that's the major shift. In fact, that was the big eye-opener from that class was, oh my God, I'm an asshole. So, and then the last one is a judgmental versus a perceptive. Perceptive person takes the day one day at a time. They perceive the situation, they perceive the progress of their project, and they move on from there. Whereas a judgmental person sets milestones, sets calendar, that everything has to be just so. For example, the greatest judgmental that I could send you to would be Sheldon. Sheldon is definitely a judgmental and can't handle changes in the daily routine. I'm pretty judgmental. I don't handle change very well. And that's also a typical ADHD behavior, by the way. But I have learned, particularly through this job, that you kind of have to take it as it comes because you might get swept off the street today and your whole schedule changes. I still don't particularly like to be bothered. You guys all know that when I'm working on a project and you interrupt me, I get pretty fucking nasty about it. But I was 99J over P, so I was definitely a very strong ENTJ, and I've moderated that a little bit. I'm much more of a feeler and much more perceptive than I used to be. But I don't remember how you got me on this subject, but there you have your story, and I don't know if it's very funny. Oh, because I said that. Because I said that I wasn't very spontaneous. I'm really not very spontaneous. That's the funny thing.
You plan a lot of things out, actually.
I really do, don't I? Yeah, see, I'm not a spontaneous person. It really irritates me if I get the wrong menu that day. Like, it's like Sheldon. You have to have this cereal on this day. That's just the way it is. You can't disrupt the universe.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
it's less of a plan, or maybe that's out of necessity, But
there are people that think that they didn't necessarily hear the court right this morning. So I'd like for you to clarify what happened in court, what the judge gave you today. I know he lowered the bond, but I know there are some things that he added to it, and I'd like to make sure what they did add and what they didn't add, because I think I missed a few things. So I would like for you to reiterate that.
Okay, so before this morning, I was only on a GPS monitor for the HOA case. This is actually kind of hysterical that I've been on a This is actually the reason why that I was upset why I was trying to speak out why I said bad girl, bad girl. But here we have this low-level misdemeanor and petty offense case, right, with this HOA president. She lives 50 feet away from me. We're on the same property. And they put me on a GPS monitor with an exclusion zone of the Cherry Creek Mall, which means now I know she works at the Cherry Creek Mall, which I didn't know before, but it's not like I was ever going to go there anyway, right? Because you can't even get in the door without $1,000 down there.
That's the truth, folks.
Right, and today, even if I had $1,000, I wouldn't go there today because I don't want to be that close to people, what with COVID and all. So, oh my God, she works in a mall. She could get COVID. Oh, my day's just getting better by the minute. Anyway, I'm on an ankle monitor and I can't go to the Cherry Creek Mall, but I'm not restricted from my home, which is 50 feet away. And I just find that hysterical. But today, the Adams County judge put me on a GPS monitor. And here's the hysterical thing. There's no exclusion zone. So I have a GPS monitor, and I can go anywhere I want. I know, I hear crickets because nobody's processing that. It's like, huh? Right, exactly. Once again, I have an ankle monitor for no good reason. That's okay, I'll take it. Huh? We're going to take this one, right?
Yeah.
Just got to take your hit. So that was a change because that was not a previous condition of bond. One of the things that I thought was interesting today is that the clerk, so one of the charges is felony 4, retaliation against the judge through an act of harassment by electronic communication by saying a mean thing about the clerk who's in close relationship to the judge.
Right.
So now, if they could, I mean, that's really a stretch to call somebody a name on a YouTube stream, which on its best day could be telephone or electronic harassment. That's now somehow a felony 4. Retaliation against the judge. Very bizarre. But anyway, the clerk, she said, as a victim, that she wanted the bond to stay the same. The judge said she had no objection to the bond being restored back down to $20,000. And if I understood the court correctly today, Deputy Bonder wanted the bond to be increased. He didn't think that $50,000 was enough.
Jesus.
So you may have heard in that one I said, I would just like to point out that this is the same Joseph Bonder in the Federal District Court Civil Rights lawsuit, Eric Brandt versus Joseph Bonder. This is the jaywalking guy, right?
Right.
If you guys have listened to that hearing. I'm sure, and I think that everybody understood, and I didn't have to say it, but I'll say it now just in case. I'm sure that the court knew that what I meant by that was that Deputy Bonder is a sworn police officer and would never exhibit bias or want to retaliate against me. So that was interesting. The judge really didn't let that fly. The judge recognized that the reason why I wasn't in court was because I was here. Was another one that I caught the prosecution on. The prosecution said Mr. Brandt could have made an attempt to notify the court.
No.
And like, I see the man right here under the moniker Liberty Street TV in the WebEx right now. Mr. Rosari was actually in the courthouse on the day of that hearing with consent of surety in hand, notifying the court. They did everything they could to notify the court. So once again, the prosecution is being disingenuous about this. They knew damn well where I was at the time. And this judge also in the previous hearing, that he had sort of called the prosecution out on that. He said there's actually quite a bit of record in here that Mr. Brandt in Jefferson County. We knew this was coming. Yeah. But that's fine. So then the next change that we said we offered, that, Your Honor, if the court wanted to impose a prohibition against posting content on social media, I'll point out that I told my lawyer to say YouTube, not social media. So we'll have to correct him in the future. The judge went ahead and imposed that, but the prosecution said, Your Honor, we have no way to monitor that. That's an impossible condition because we can't put that burden on pretrial services to monitor all of social media and the World Wide Web for posts that Mr. Brandt might make on some channel. Anywhere. He could post anything anywhere. And I called him out on that, didn't I? I sort of feared that I said, actually, Your Honor, the prosecution is again being a little bit disingenuous because if you pay attention to the record of this case and these other cases, the only reason they're prosecuting me is because they have dedicated detectives who do nothing but monitor Eric Brandt's communications.
That's right.
Okay. As a matter of fact, you want to clip this, the clip marker. I want you to send this clip to my attorney, Cassandra McKenzie. I want her to release to you the audio recording of my interview with Detective Miller. I think it's Miller. Is it Miller? The one in Denver that has the binder that says First Amendment cards. I want to tell you why, because that's a great interview. You think they're not monitoring us if they have binders that say First Amendment cards with pictures of us, descriptions of our social media accounts, even down to how we walk. They can identify us on night vision cameras by our walking gait. I shit you not.
What?
Yes, we've seen binders of this before. They've had Occupy binders. We've seen Occupy binders from Denver Sheriff's Department, right? You bet. Denver Sheriff's are pretty weak on this. Denver Police Department's way better. And so the detective comes in the booking room as they're booking in on the Thoughts and Prayers case, in the Judge Rudolph case, and he asks me if I would do an interview with him, if I talk to him. And I said, sure. By the way, I don't recommend you do that. You should not, in fact, ever do this. Do as I say, not as I do here, right? I learned that from the president. But, we go off into an interview room, and he Mirandizes me, and he's making multiple recordings, and he keeps asking me, what your intention was. I'm like, well, my intention was to seek redress for grievances. I believe I have a First Amendment right to do that. He's like, yes, you do. And he says, I hear what you intended here. He keeps asking me what my intention was, because intent is the major factor in the charge that they charged me with. They charged me with retaliation against the judge through harassment. And it's all over that statute. They have to prove several different kinds of it. So, great interview, by the way. My lawyer loves it. I want you to do ask Cassandra McKenzie to send you that. But he tells, I said, well, if you want to know what my intention is, then you should probably watch my YouTube channel. And he says this, and he just deflates when he says, Mr. Brandt, unfortunately, I have to watch all of your videos. I said, that's a lot of videos. He goes, yes, it is. And I said, well, if you watch all of my videos, then you already know what my intentions are. Well, Mr. Brandt, no, I don't know what your intentions are. I said, well, you haven't been a very good student, so you're going to have to watch them all over again.
So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Friends in Code, did you want to take a call after this so that I could get down to the protest and you guys could continue this over there and then cover me down there if I get down there?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be going live on Out of the Watchdog News. Excuse me.
Cool.
What did you say?
Sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
How much time do we have left?
It looks like about just over 5 minutes, I think.
Okay, well, let me say a few things, and then I'm going to go watch the news because I want to go to the protest too. And if it gets really juicy, then I'll call friends and Kodak. First of all, we have heard this quote several times in the last few days. Riot is the only voice of the voiceless.
He's so right.
That's right.
That's what we're seeing in the country right now, and this is important because we don't advocate for violence. Right? We shouldn't be burning down our buildings. We shouldn't be destroying our institutions. We shouldn't be injuring innocent business owners, if such a thing exists. But what we're seeing is a manifestation of desperation. Right? What we're seeing is that they took 4 days to charge a police officer with murder. That stressed the life out of not just a random guy, but a guy that he actually used to work with. They used to work together as security guards. I don't know if you knew that. That's been coming out in the news.
Oh, shit. I can't hear you.
18
Oh,
prior
there you go.
complaints.
He had 18. 18? He had 18 prior complaints?
For excessive force, yeah, and his buddy had a civil rights lawsuit for excessive force. And so the governor's talking about needing to put an end to 48 hours of anarchy. Listen, guys, we're trying to put an end to 48 years of anarchy. Murder pigs are anarchists. They're sovereign citizens. The rules don't apply to them.
Right.
And when we can't apply the rules to our governance, that is anarchy. We don't have 48 hours of anarchy. We have 48 hours of the voice of the voiceless trying to put an end to your 48 years of anarchy.
That's right.
Okay? The time is now. The time is now. And what we need to do, this is the words I'll leave you with here. The thought I'll leave you with. I'm asking you now to bond me out of jail and let me go hide in the basement and write code with friendly code to pull data, to find these pigs, to have complaint after complaint, to analyze the reports of these pigs, because most pigs don't get complaints unless it's really outrageous. Well, we need to start tracking these bad cops through their reports. I can tell you about a cop by reading his report. That means that I can put together a pattern. We can go to these cities and we can say, hey, you got to get rid of this guy. You got to watch this guy. The purpose of the independent monitor was to become an early detection device. They monitor all the complaints in Denver. That's all they can do is monitor and recommend. They're doing it in the wrong way, I think. And what we need to do is we need to put concerted effort into analyzing the language of the police reports and the cases and their testimonies. That's what we need to do. And that's why I say the time is now. It's time for us to launch the great data revolution. They're beating us to death with data, and it's time for us to beat them back with data.
I agree. Absolutely.
That's the thought I want to leave you with tonight. I'm going to go back to our riots, which by the way, I have to admit that as I have to admit, just you guys just gave me the greatest breath of fresh air. I'm so glad I was in custody last night. Because if I hadn't been in custody last night, I might have been arrested.
So I'm getting word that James Freeman is live in Dallas. He's in the fray. So give us a call. If you see anything juicy.
Word to James Freeman, and I would like to talk to him. So if he would please get his phone number through that email address, so that my lawyer can give it to me. I do want to talk to James Freeman, and I don't have his current number. I wish him the best. My best to Johnny 50 and Bell, and all those guys in Arizona, and all you guys up north.
So, real quick,
guys, I really appreciate it.
Real quick, some sad news. Johnny 50 was diagnosed with cancer. Okay, and he put a video out.
Kind of cancer, but that's not. Yeah, that's private medical stuff.
No, it's no.
The Green Data Rebellion is now.
Yeah.
And I think that Friends and Code will speak to this. I think that Marines at Mall will speak to this. The guy to do this is me. Right? Talk amongst yourselves. You can tell everybody, hey, you think you have a hard time keeping track of all my cases? I do. And I keep track of all of yours too while I'm out there, don't I?
Crazy, man. I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm the J. Yeah, I'm
Is
the J. Let's end 48 years of anarchy by beating them to death with their own data.
Amen.
all right, man. We cannot wait to see you out of here. And so, everyone, just to reiterate, this is the beginning of us getting this subathon, this bonathon going, and getting Eric out of jail. We've got some numbers, and am I correct in saying that we could still get some lower number next week if things work out? Or
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that I want you guys to try and communicate with some of those judges that I talked about, specifically Munch and Fay and Roach are the big ones, right? I don't really expect much of this to change, but I think that Judge Fay would reduce bond a little bit. Judge Ellis might reduce bond. Roach might reduce bond. Judge Munch doesn't appear to be willing to reduce bond, so I think that we need to focus on Judge Munch. That's the biggest chunk, is $35,000. You know, if all those judges could knock a zero off those bonds, then we could start making some real progress here.
okay,
Are they going to do it? I'm telling you right now, I've gotten really good at paying attention to what judges say. Remember, I called it last week with Judge Shabansky. What did Shabansky do today? Exactly what I said I thought he would do. So, I'm expecting that we might be able to knock
$237.66.
$7,000 off of that. But, you know, how many weeks are we going to have to wait for that to happen? Judge Munch just keeps kicking me down the road. He has no intention of ever letting me out. I offended the magic costume, and I'm not going to get away with it.
yep.
Right? So I would say $70,000 is our target now, and if it gets lowered in the next few days, great. But I don't think that we should rely on that.
So we have about 14K in payments and pledges so far, and 237.66 in donations that we've received during this stream. So thank you everyone very much for being here with us. We've got Eric Brandt on the phone. If you would like to say anything else before we get cut off, which should be any time.
I'll tell you what, I'll call Friends in Code. I'm going to go watch the news and eat some soup here, and let's see what's happening with the protests going around the country right now. And then at some point tonight, I'll probably call Friends in Code. I've got another 2 hours here, so maybe an hour. Maybe we can talk a little bit about what's going on in the country.
Sure.
And I'll be on there. And I do want you to please share the Blue Lives Splatter artwork with all those protesters. I think the time is right now. We could draw some new attention to ourselves. Let's make Denver great again.
Absolutely. I put that out there. We are absolutely plastering
And I
that
promise
design.
that if you elect me president, I'm going to put an end to all social media. Don't quote me on that. I don't want the thugs to come get me.
The alphabet thugs are coming to get you again.
I'm going to hang up before I check myself with cleaning chemicals right now, okay?
Oh my gosh. We've got Too Tall Robin here. He says thank you. Vulgar Vixen, the real OG. Oh man, so many people in here watching you, even on the Real Mr. Brandt channel. We're live on the Real Mr. Brandt channel.
Oh, yeah. I knew that when I gave out the password months ago that you guys would have used it. Awesome.
Yeah, this is the first time I think we've actually been live on that channel. So thank you for the people who helped us out with that. Thank you, Friends in Code, man. Eric, we love you.
And one last thing, if you want your donation to be kept strictly anonymous, make sure you tell us that in the email, huh?
Right. Make sure you.
know that. I don't want to be violating anybody right now in any way. Well, that's not true. Actually, there are a couple people that I'd like to violate, but we're not talking about Vin Diesel tonight.
Oh my God. There goes my channel. Thanks a lot for that, Eric. All right. Well, we are on the way out, buddy.
Hey, I want to tell you that all the deputies had to shave today.
Awesome.
They got their beards today. You know why they had to shave off their beards, right?
No, why?
They're going to be wearing gas masks.
So their gas masks Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna go down there and we're gonna get some footage, man. We will see you soon, buddy.
All right. Don't get injured. Take a gas mask with you.
Well, I'm already on crutches, so we'll see how it goes.
You're on crutches.
Oh, new thing. Don't worry about it.
Take the lighted sign with you, huh? So that I can see it on the news.
Oh, the lighted sign, if I can find it. Absolutely. All right, buddy. I'm gonna get out of here.
What's the lighted sign? Yeah, please. I'm begging you. I want to see the lighted sign on the news.
All right, buddy.
All right, bye.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. I am headed out. Friends and Code, thank you very much, buddy. Any last words? You can cut this for me, and I'm out of here.
Friends and Code have an hour.
All right, friends, you heard that?
Thank you, FTP Minion, for the lighted sign.
FTP Minion, thank you. All right, folks.
Deputy Dennick is handing me a shitload of mail. Thanks, guys.
All right. Shitload of mail. Okay, hold on just 1 second. Go ahead.
We got the mail from this guy named Otto. He's now numbering his mail NN, which means he ran out of numbers. You guys should have taught him how to go to 3 digits, huh?
All right, but
this is awesome, Otto. Oh my God. And this is labeled WN. Apparently it's a new numbering system. Oh, here's some of them that I should have got weeks ago. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 letters from Otto the Watchdog tonight. I'm going to be up for hours.
12 letters. I'm sure that some of those should be transcripts from court hearing, man. So,
We do feel kind of sick.
all right, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
We love you, Eric. Happy Fuck the Cops Day. Fuck all those police in the neck.
Secure.
What?
Oh. Now we got all kinds of stuff going on. We've got protests in Denver, protests in Atlanta, Boston, LA. We've got
It's going
special
down.
guests in Denver, Colorado going down to the protests, so keep your fucking eyes out, people.
Right, we'll have it coverage. We'll have coverage on Watchdog News Network. If y'all want to come over there and see it, we will have it there. See you soon.
All right, buddy. All right. Hey, take it on my live stream channel, please.